Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We will now commence the 29th Annual General Meeting of Mphasis Limited over video conferencing. For smooth conduct of the meeting, all the lines of the shareholders will be on mute. The audio and video of the speaker shareholders will be enabled once they are invited to speak at the AGM by the chairman. The proceedings of the AGM are being recorded and will be hosted on the website of the company after the AGM. Without any delay, I hand over to Mr. Davinder Singh Brar, Chairman of the Board of Directors, Mphasis Limited, for conducting the AGM proceedings. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the 29th Annual General Meeting conducted virtually. The quorum has been checked and is found to be in order, and we will now commence the proceedings. With your permission, I would like to take the notice convening this AGM as read. The members may please be informed that the statutory registers of Register of Directors and key managerial personnel and their shareholding, Register of Contracts or arrangements in which directors are interested, Register of Proxy, Statutory Auditor's Report, and Secretarial Audit Reports and Certificate as required under SEBI Regulations 2014 received from the statutory auditors of the company, which are required to be placed at the AGM, are available for inspection at the NSDL website under the tab AGM Documents. I would now like to introduce the directors present virtually for the meeting. We have Mr. Nitin Rakesh, Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director, Mr. Narayanan Kumar, Chairman of the Audit Committee, Mrs. Jayan Kathleen Hyer, Chairperson of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee, Mr. Amit Dixit, Mr. Amil Dalmia, Mr. David Lawrence Johnson, Mr. Paul James Upchurch, and Mr. Marshall Lux present at the meeting. I am Davinder Singh Brar, the Chairman of the Board and the Stakeholders Relationship Committee. I record that the authorized representatives of the statutory auditors, secretarial auditor, and the scrutinizer are also virtually present in this meeting. I also record that all feasible planning and execution has been done for enabling electronic participation and voting of the members for this AGM. It is confirmed that the electronic voting is available throughout the AGM. I would now like to share with you the performance highlights of the company for the financial year 20 and also the developments in our digital and technology transformation initiatives. I'm delighted to welcome you all to this AGM of your company. It may be a different setting than what we are normally used to. However, it is wonderful to see so many of you joining in from different parts of India and from other countries as well. Thank you for joining us. All of us have felt the impact that COVID-19 has created across the world. The pandemic forced businesses to go remote in days, acting as a change agent, the biggest accelerant to the digital trend, and an opportunity for companies to step up and help enterprises take that leap. Within the company, we started the business continuity planning process well ahead of the crisis, keeping in mind the safety and security of our employees and the need for greater customer centricity. Since we made the bold decision 2 years ago to adopt an agile organization design, the change has not been as dramatic for us as it may have been for other companies. In fact, we managed to go remote with 95% coverage to our overall global operations by March end due to a rapid response and significant interventions where possible. Given that the core business of the company is providing technology solutions to global enterprises, we had in the past few years made strategic investments in next generation technologies with our unique customer centric front to back digital transformation methodology, anticipating the needs of a future ready business. New emerging technologies were changing the way businesses operate, and we were helping organizations reflect the same in their IT infrastructure by leveraging a cloud first, cognitive first hybrid approach. This foresight and the resulting pivot have primed the company to leverage the opportunities in the COVID disruption, unearth new areas of engagement, and make significant gains. Going forward, there are certain trends that are likely to be secular tailwinds for our business, such as the digital workplace, digital commerce in all industries, cybersecurity, automation, and most importantly, the ability to apply this transformation to traditional business models. The company is focused on strengthening its position through this period of uncertainty by staying close to our clients and enabling them to accelerate their digital transformation journey during these challenging times. Let me now talk about a few highlights of the year gone by. The continued trust of our clients in the company is reflected in the annual growth numbers. In financial year 20, the company consolidated gross revenue grew by 12.8% on reported basis and 11.7% in constant currency. This year, the company recorded the highest ever PCB wins in direct international business worth US 715 million, of which 81% was in new generation services. The earnings per share of the company, a key growth indicator, grew at 13.4% for the year to rupees 63.60. The company expects to grow faster than the industry average in the fiscal year 2021 as the clients in banking and financial services spend more on technology to shift operations away from offices to the cloud, further accelerated by the COVID pandemic. As an example, the company signed a multi-year deal to provide cloud infrastructure services to the Ardonagh Group, the UK's largest independent insurance Infosys will also work with RBS to deliver advanced transformation to the testing services through its Testing Center for Excellence. The collaboration will see Emphasis co-invest and co-create speed-to-market solutions. Few other strategic updates to share. The US Patent Office has approved the patent for Emphasis solution Deep Insights, titled System and Method for Optimizing Aggregation and Analysis of Data across Multiple Data Sources. In addition, the European Patent Office has granted Emphasis a patent for InfraGraph graph, titled An Adaptive System and a Method for Application Error Prediction and Management. The company, through its Sparkle Innovation Program, has curated and built an innovation partner ecosystem with a database of over 750 relevant startups globally and has relationships with the world's leading academic and industrial research organizations. Sparkle is launching Emphasis Alta, focused on creating industry-specific innovation programs, starting with global payments and trade markets by leveraging the company's own innovation system within the payments and the blockchain areas, and helping build out the supporting run their applications on Amazon Web Services. This year, Mphasis was featured in 72 analyst reports. HFS research recognized Mphasis as the IT's hidden gem, calling Mphasis a great turnaround story. HFS lauds a strategy of bringing T back into IT and acknowledges rise of Mphasis in the HFS top 10 studies. We ranked 6th in the top 10 banking and financial services sector service providers for 2019 and were mentioned in a digital front office report. Mphasis also ranked second among top IT service challengers in the Everest Group Peak Matrix Service Provider of the Year 2020. These initiatives and more that are in progress signal concerted strategic moves by the company to invest, participate, and grow in new generation technologies and services while continuing to optimize its core business. In corporate social responsibility, CSR, the company's philanthropic activities are governed by the CSR Committee of the Board, which approves the CSR budget and monitors its implementation as per the CSR policy of the company. The company has directed its CSR spend towards creating lasting social impact, which has been outlined in the annual report. Mphasis F1 Foundation, a philanthropic arm of the company, invests in the area of education, inclusion, and livelihood through non-profit and social enterprises. During FY20, Mphasis F1 Foundation has continued to support innovative programs that work towards the inclusive development of society. At the core of its CSR strategy, the company endeavors to bring about social change by applying the power of technology and disruptive solutions. The company has undertaken around 20 programs across 3 focus areas over the year. Last year during the AGM, we had announced a partnership with International Institute of Information Technology, Bangalore, and the inauguration of a first of its kind Center of Excellence for Cognitive Computing. This Center of Excellence aimed to leverage cognitive computing technology to solve problems related to education, enterprises, and accessibility, as well as co-create open source IP assets on applied research with relevance to societal and enterprise challenges. I'm happy to report that through the course of the year, the projects that were identified by the Center of Excellence have moved into the prototype stage with initial success. Of the 3 projects, the first one, titled Sign Language Synthesis, allows hearing impaired individuals to access spoken media. The prototype developed converts spoken English into Indian Sign Language and displays the results through animation, thereby removing the dependence on human interpreters. The second prototype developed is a precision learning portal that entails the use of big data techniques to identify expertise and knowledge gaps in communities and organizations and mediate appropriately. The third prototype developed is a web-based data mining application that provides open source toolkit for data analysis without deep domain knowledge. The company has entered a partnership with Foundation for Innovation and Social Entrepreneurship to support incubation of startups working on assistive technologies for persons with disabilities. Through this initiative, 10 social enterprises working on such technologies will be provided with required acceleration support. This includes go-to-market design for manufacturing and funding support. Mphasis had also partnered with Uber Technologies in November 2017 to launch Mphasis Uber Access and Mphasis Uber Assist, an initiative that provides accessible public transportation services for persons with disabilities in Bengaluru, India. Since its launch, Uber Xpress has completed over 17,000 trips and has served around 4,500 rider trips. With learnings from the Bengaluru operations, the company plans to support the Uber Xpress program launched in the city of Mumbai. During these unprecedented times of COVID-19, the company has been actively contributing to support vulnerable groups and communities. Emphasis enabled infrastructure set up of the COVID help desk, Aapka Mitra for the Government of Karnataka and record time. We supported over 150 medical professionals working across shifts to respond to calls that come to the 104 COVID helpline. Through employee contributions, Emphasis has raised more than rupees 23 lakhs towards the PM CARES Fund. This amount will be matched through Emphasis CSR funds as well. The company has also authorized the use of Uber Xpress cabs for relevant applications related to COVID in the city of Bangalore. Some of the immediate relief activities include support to ASSOCHAM for a meal initiative for staff and health workers at Safdarjung Hospital, Delhi, to cover the cost for 10,000 meals across 10 days. In another partnership with Magic Bus India, Emphasis is supporting distribution of provisions and essential kits to 576 households in underprivileged communities. Financial year 2020 was a year of continued growth, and I'm sure this will happen through financial year 2021 and beyond. In the current contactless era that is unlikely to change anytime soon, Emphasis' latest offerings will help firms ensure business continuity through infrastructural support and security. Furthermore, it will drive seamless and secure collaboration among teams during this time of crisis and in the future. Despite global challenges, we witnessed strong performance that created great value for all our stakeholders. In summary, the company recorded the highest ever TCF wins in direct international business with US $715 million. 81% of the TCV wins were in new generation services. Net profit grew 10.4% year on year to Indian rupee 11,848 million. Earnings per share of the company grew at 13.4% for the year to rupees 63.60. You will be happy to know that the board of directors have recommended a final dividend of rupees 35 per equity share for the financial year ended 31st March 2020, subject to your approval at this meeting. In the years ahead, I am positive that Emphasis will continue to scale, transform, and stay ahead of the technology advancements as an applied technology company driven by cloud and cognitive technologies. I believe we are in a competitive position with a sound strategy, a solid business, and with a great team. We are focused on our path forward and committed to enhancing shareholder return. I would like to thank our customers, the leadership team, and all our employees for their commitment, efforts, and initiatives. I also thank each one of you for your continuing support. Emphasis is a company with a heritage. I wish all of us the very best as we carry out our individual responsibilities in building future success together. Thank you, everyone. Please stay safe and healthy, and hopefully this time next year we will be able to meet in person. Thank you.
option for physical voting at the AGM is not provided this time. However, the company has enabled e-voting facility during the AGM for the members who have not voted through remote e-voting and who are present at the AGM and are not otherwise barred from doing so. The icon for e-voting is available on top of the screen under the e-voting tab, which will redirect the members to the e-voting platform of NSDL. The e-voting facility would close after 15 minutes from the conclusion of this AGM. There will be no proposing and seconding of the resolutions as the meeting is held virtually. The shareholders who have registered themselves as speaker shareholders will be allowed to speak, and such registered speaker shareholders may participate in the discussion on the items of business once the discussion is invited by the chairman. The queries shall be answered after all the allowed speaker shareholders have raised their question. I now request the chairman to resume the proceedings. Over to you, sir.
We will now take up the resolutions as set forth in the notice. We will open the lines for questions from the shareholders after all the resolutions are tabled at the meeting. Item number 1 of the notice is to receive, consider and adopt the audited financial statements for the financial year ended 31st March 2020. The financial statements have already been provided to you. Item number 2 of the notice is to approve declaration of dividend on the equity shares. The board has recommended a dividend of Rs 35 per equity share of Rs 10 each. Item number 3 of the notice is to re-elect Mr. David Lawrence Johnson, who retires by rotation and seeks reappointment. Item number 4 of the notice is to re-elect Mr. Amit Dalmia, who retires by rotation and seeks reappointment. Item number 5 of the notice is in relation to reappointment of Mrs. Jan Kathleen Heyer as an independent director by means of a special resolution. Item number 6 and 7 of the notice relate to approval for amendments to Employee Stock Option Plan 2006 by means of special resolutions. The text of the special resolutions along with explanatory statement are provided in the notice circulated to the members. May I request the members to treat the resolutions as read. I now invite the speaker shareholders to raise questions that they may have on the items of the business of the meeting. I request the members to confine their queries strictly to the items of the business of the meeting. I request the moderator of the meeting to enable the speaker shareholders in the order of registration. In the interest of time, I request the speaker shareholders to restrict their questions and/or views and observations to a maximum of 3 minutes. I will now hand over the proceedings to the moderator to allow the speaker shareholders to raise their queries.
Thank you so much, sir. We will now begin the question and answer session. We have the first question from Ravi Kumar Naredi. DPID client ID is IN301983102739990. You may go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you listening me?
Yes, sir. You may go ahead.
Okay. Respected Chairman, MD, eminent Board of Directors, employees of company and fellow shareholders. Myself Ravi Naredi from Bhilwara, Rajasthan. Sir, this system you are using for AGM, I feel best ever one I uses in AGM. I can well understand how the management is investor friendly, sir. Sir, we have a goodwill amount 2140 crore. Are we going to write off this amount over the period of time? Sir, we are having good amount of liquidity and this tough COVID time, can we acquire some companies as you find them cheap? So when good times come, our company can benefit from this acquisition. What is our long-term plan for next 3-year time frame, sir? Thank you to give me opportunity to speak. I wish all the best to company and all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We have the next question from Santosh Kumar Saraf, DPID client ID 1206780000018019. Over to you, sir.
सर सुनाई दे रहा मेरे को?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. You may go ahead.
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी और बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर और उपस्थित मेरे शेयर होल्डर भाइयों बहनों, मेरा नाम संतोष कुमार श्राफ, मैं कलकत्ता से बोल रहा हूँ सर। सर्वप्रथम सभी बोर्ड मेंबर को और सीएफओ को और अन्य जो मैनेजमेंट के अधिकारी हैं उनको धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा बहुत अच्छा रिजल्ट देने के लिए, क्योंकि लास्ट ईयर बहुत टफ टाइम अपने लोग के लिए गई थी, उसके अलावा भी आपने इतना अच्छा डिविडेंड दिया और 35वें का डिविडेंड दिया जो कि 3.58 का yield आता है करंट प्राइस के लिए। नेक्स्ट मेरा सर ये है कि आपका जो इक्विटी का 18.71 टाइम्स रिजर्व है और 2005 से कोई बोनस शेयर इशू नहीं दिया है। जब से हमारे प्रेजेंट चेयरमैन मिस्टर DS बरार साहब आए हैं तब से कोई बोनस शेयर इशू नहीं हुआ। तो कोई बोनस शेयर का प्लानिंग है या बोनस शेयर नहीं है तो क्या फिर से कोई बाईबैक की प्लानिंग हो तो बताइएगा सर। एक सर पेज नंबर 56 में आपने करंट इन्वेस्टमेंट में डिटेल दी है कि आपने म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है। ये सर उसमें ये नहीं बताया है ये प्लान कौन से हैं, डायरेक्ट प्लान है या रेगुलर प्लान है सर। एक सर नेक्स्ट है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर के फंड में आपने कुछ फंड दिया है क्या, दिया तो कितना, और कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को आपने इलेक्ट्रो बॉन्ड के रूप में कोई डोनेट किए हैं क्या, बताइएगा सर। एक सर नेक्स्ट है आपकी जो पेज नंबर 97 में आपने लिखा है बिजनेस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट के बारे में कि वो आपके वेबसाइट पर अपलोड की गई है। सर मैंने बहुत ट्राई किया, कई बार ट्राई किया, मुझसे कभी भी वो अनलोड नहीं हुई, अनलोड नहीं हुआ और मुझे दिखी भी नहीं कहीं पर भी। तो मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है सर नेक्स्ट ईयर से उसको आप बैलेंस के साथ में प्रोवाइड करेंगे तो हमें फिर बैलेंस के साथ में वहाँ वेबसाइट पे जाना नहीं पड़ेगा और यहीं से हम रिपोर्ट देख सकेंगे सर। अब मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा सर कि टोटल परमानेंट एम्प्लॉई अपने कितने हैं, हाँ, उसमें कितनी परसेंटेज फीमेल की है और मतलब अपंग अप्लाई की है, इतने 31 मार्च तक बताइएगा सर। दूसरा सर मैं एक ऑब्जर्व बता रहा हूँ आपको कि एज पर कंपनी एक्ट 2013 आपको दिन नंबर सब जगह मेंशन करने का है जहां जहां आप रिपोर्टिंग करते हैं ऑन बिहाफ में या फिर आप सेंड करते हैं, लेकिन मैं कहेगा सिर्फ आपने पेज नंबर 147 पे कॉर्पोरेट जो गवर्नेंस की रिपोर्ट है वहीं पे डिटेल दी है, बाकी और जगह दी नहीं है। ये मैं समझता हूँ कि कानून का उल्लंघन है, इसको नेक्स्ट से ध्यान रखा जाए सर। दूसरा जो अभी जो करंट पेंडेमिक की सिचुएशन चल रही है इसके अंदर जितनी भी IT कंपनी है वह अपने एम्प्लॉय को मतलब वर्क फ्रॉम होम की फैसिलिटी बहुत ज्यादा दे रखी है और क्योंकि सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग अपने को मेंटेन करनी है और उसका पालन भी करना जिससे कोई अफेक्टेड ना हो। तो सर ये कुछ महीने और चलेंगे तो मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा IT कंपनी वाले जो अनक्रिटिकल स्टाफ जो है क्रिटिकल स्टाफ है क्या उनको एक परमानेंट वर्क फ्रॉम होम की फैसिलिटी दे सकती है कि उससे क्या कंजेस्टेड भी कम होगा और ऑफिस में लोड भी कम होंगे। और इसके लिए सर ये जो कि अपनी स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन में पढ़ते हैं कई कंपनियां SBI के अंदर पढ़ती है तो इसके लिए क्या वर्क फ्रॉम होम की फैसिलिटी देने के लिए आप गवर्नमेंट से कोई अपील करके कोई परमिशन की जरूरत तो लेके अप्लाई किए सर। इसके साथ नेक्स्ट को कुछ अपने डिस्प्यूट पेंडिंग है पेज नंबर 152 पे, तो इसके जो गवर्नमेंट की जो स्कीमें लॉन्च की है विवाद से विश्वास और सबका विश्वास, इसके अंदर में क्या कोई सेटल किया जा सकता है क्या, इसका विचार करें सर। लास्ट में यह कि मुझे एक चीज बताइएगा सर, लास्ट में जो फिजिकल मीटिंग आपने की थी उसमें अपने प्रिंटिंग एनुअल रिपोर्ट नोटिस वेन्यू अरेंजमेंट अदर्स जो खर्चे हुए थे कितने थे और इस साल जो अपने वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस की जो मीटिंग कर रहे हैं इसमें कितने एक्सपेंसेस आए एस्टिमेट है। और सर मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है कि नेक्स्ट ईयर से आप जब भी फिजिकल मीटिंग करें है, उसके साथ में वीडियो मीटिंग जरूर करें। इसका फायदा बहुत है सर। देखिए अभी भिलवाड़ा से मिस्टर रवि रेड्डी ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, मैं कलकत्ता से पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा हूँ, कोई चेन्नई से पार्टिसिपेट करेगा, लेकिन जब मीटिंग आपको इन पर्सनल होती है तो कोई इसका चांस नहीं है। तो इसलिए इन पर्सनल जरूर करिए। उसके साथ ये एक ऑप्शन जो अपने को मिला है, इसको भी यूटिलाइज करिए। जय भारत, जय हिंद, धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. We have the next question from Dipankar with DPID client ID 12047 20009417188. So we do not have Dipankar connected with us now. We will move to the next question. We have the next question from Mr. Jaychand. So just give me a moment. Mr. Jaychand? Mr. Jaychand, you may go ahead. So, sir, we have no further questions. With this, I hand it over to the chairman again. Over to you, sir.
Okay. So, the first question was regarding the goodwill impairment and whether the amount of 2140 crores over a period of time the company will write off. Well, we have carried out management has done an internal assessment of the goodwill amount, which has also been vetted by the auditors. And we see no reason as of now for any of this amount to be written off, either now or over a period of time. The next suggestion was to look at an acquisition given the liquidity position in the company. We are constantly evaluating various options, especially in the context of our digital transformation journey. We look at companies which can add capabilities and new competencies to the company. So there is a regular process within the system to evaluate dozens of companies and organizations for possible acquisition, but it takes time, and as and when we have a good candidate, the management will bring it to the board for a possible acquisition. The other questions pertain to buyback and bonus. I think we have already undertaken 2 buybacks, and as of now we do not have any plan to either issue a buyback and bonus, but we will be evaluating it in the context of the company's performance and the position going forward. On page 56, you asked about the mutual funds. They are all in the direct plan. On the business responsibility report, we uploaded it. I'm sorry that you had difficulties in accessing this. So going forward, next year we will consider providing a reference of the BRR web link in the email communication to the shareholders, which will help you access it better. Regarding the employees, we have permanent employee strength of about 18,865, and female employees constitute 31.5%. 5946 is the number of female employees in the company, and the employees with disabilities are about 0.4%, 73 in number. You mentioned about the directors not signing with the DIN number. The company has referred to the DIN number of the respective directors where the information about the directors is being disclosed. It is not required statutorily in the signature portfolios. So that's why you don't find it there, but where required, the company has provided the name numbers of the directors. Next question was regarding the work for home in this pandemic and maybe getting permissions from the government to accord appropriate status for work for home employees in the context of the Shops and Establishments Act. I think this is an evolving situation. Many companies have coped with the present situation by working from home. But to what percentage critical or non-critical employees will eventually work from home is yet to be determined. The length of COVID pandemic is uncertain, and as of now we are continuing to operate the way we have, but this may not be the long-term eventual solution. The government and the tax authorities have also to accord appropriate approvals or permissions to treating work from home as working from an office establishment. So I think it's an evolving situation. Some companies have made announcements that they will go to X or Y percentage, eventually work from home. But we have not yet taken a decision because the situation is fluid. As and when I think this stabilizes, we will have our own policy which the management will frame and we'll share it with you. Regarding the tax settlement, Vivad Se Vishwas and Sabka Vishwas schemes, we have taken cognizance of this and we have filed for 3 disputes for resolution under the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme and for 4 disputes towards a resolution under this scheme under Sabka Vishwas scheme. Then there was a question on the cost of the annual report. I think last year we had printed 13,000 copies of the annual report and it cost us approximately rupees 11 lakhs. This year we have printed only 500 copies of the annual report and due to the size limitation it has cost us about rupees 2 lakhs. So maybe its per copy cost looks 4,000 high, but it's because of the size and the number of limitations. So the two costs are not comparable. And I think that answers most of the questions that were raised by the shareholders. If there is any other question somebody wants to raise, we would be happy to take that question.
So there are no other questions.
Okay. So I think all the shareholder queries have been now answered, and if there are still any queries from the shareholders, you can write to 29.agm@mphasis.com, which will be responded to you by the management. This concludes the business of the day. I take this opportunity to thank all the shareholders present for their kind attention, cooperation and valuable support and time. The combined results of the votes cast through remote e-voting and e-voting during the AGM on all the resolutions would be uploaded on the company's website and will be intimated to the stock exchanges as per the SEBI listing regulations and disclosure requirement regulations of 2015 by tomorrow. I wish the shareholders all the very best, good health and staying safe in the current environment. I wish that we together with the rest of the world get over this pandemic swiftly and hope to meet you in person at the next available opportunity. I now declare the meeting as closed. Thank you.